Well. Come back to the Caffeinated Mammal Compilation Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Fox, and on this episode, we have my longtime friends, Pacifico. They talk about the band's storied history. Honestly, a whole smattering of things come up in this conversation. And they perform their song Don't Play Dead from the album Self-Care. All right. Welcome to the Caffeinated Mammal Compilation Podcast. We have Pacifico in the studio today. And can you guys go around and introduce yourselves and who you are, what you do in the band?
Me first?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Wes Clifton. I play bass and background vocals.
I'm CJ Mask. I play guitar and such.
I am Matthew Schwartz, and I play guitar, piano, vocals.
Right on. And this is your 25-year anniversary year?
That is true. Yep.
So talk about let's get like a brief history.
25 years ago, I was in another band playing bass, and they had asked me to to tell them to send in some songs, and I did, and they didn't like them, but my drummer liked them, so he pulled me aside. We said we needed to do a project. So that's how Pacifico began, and we stole a bass player, and we were a 3-piece, and then we became a 4-piece, then we became a 5-piece. We're doing showcases and all that kind of stuff. We ended up moving to California and getting screwed really bad by our manager, and so we came back to Atlanta. We started recording an album, and then the band broke up. And so
true rock and roll story.
Yeah. So they when they broke up, they're like, you can have the name and the merch and all that kind of stuff since it's your thing. And then I left, and I joined a band called Monday in London. They lived in North Carolina, which is where I met Wes over here. And we ended up to 5 years, something like that, playing together and recording and doing showcases and stuff. And then that broke up. And sometime in the middle, I had a label approach me about releasing music, the Pacifico stuff. And I was like, I've got this stuff that's never been released, but not really a band. And he's like, oh, I still love it. Let's do it. So his encouragement had me kind of restart it. And then he wanted to do another album. So then I did first full length around then, which then CJ came out to L.A. and recorded with me.
Is that Thin Skin?
Thin Skin and Open Heart, yeah. That was in 2009. And then, and then from then it's been basically a collective.
Cool.
And
what's the tagline? Pacifico's not a band, it's an idea.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write that. Something like that.
Somebody wrote that for you. It's
yeah,
clever.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's basically just that it's a revolving door of friends, musicians, even my mentors and some of my heroes have been able to play with us, which is really cool too.
And we met 2009-ish, around that time.
Yeah, when Monday in London was breaking up.
Yeah, because I tried to book a
2008.
show with my old band and Monday in London, and you were like, hey, I don't think we're doing stuff anymore, but Pacifico, my other thing, can play. And so we met there. And I was telling you last night, I thought you were a dick when I met you.
Everybody does.
And then you magically turned out to be one of the sweetest humans on the planet.
Yeah, I'm like what is it? The
Acquired taste.
Yeah, like Airheads. I'm salty and then sour and then sweet.
Apparently, you're supposed to shake them and let them all ball up at the bottom, and it brings out different flavors. I've never tried it though because I learned that on TikTok, well past my prime Airhead consumption.
And now we're going to do it right now on air, so you
can hear the flapping.
I want to thank Airheads for sponsoring the show.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Today's show is brought to you by Airheads.
I really want to be sponsored by Cheerwine the most.
Oh.
Cheerwine.
Just keep saying it until...
Cheerwine, if you're listening.
Yeah, if you dream it, you can be it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, we've known each other for a while. We've done a bunch of stuff together. And so last night, you guys played Evolution Summerfest, which is the little dream I had to bring music back to my hometown here in Hickory, North Carolina. And to be honest, you're kind of the reason it all happened, which is why I was stoked to have you.
Well, how was that?
Because Dear Cavalier, my band, doesn't exist because it wouldn't exist without you. Because my previous band that I had, we had 2 or 3 shows booked together, and we broke up. And I was like, hey, man, we can't play those shows. He's like, you play them. And so you encouraged me, and I was like, no, dude, I'm not the guy. He's like, you can be. And so you convinced me to play those shows where I almost pissed myself out of nervousness because I've never done that, and it was solo. And I'm still doing that project today. And because I'm doing that project, I wanted to play shows in my hometown again, which is why that festival happened yesterday. And you guys were the headliners. And so it was like a nice little full circle situation for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had it in you. I didn't do anything.
You encouraged it, and and we've done stuff together. Both of our labels, brands, whatever you call it.
That's right. During the pandemic, we did songs from indoors, which was incredible. Yeah, I honestly I love what you're doing, and I think that it's wonderful that you're trying to bring music back to your hometown because I get that kind of thing. You know, you live somewhere where you see that there's good artists, and then no one comes, anywhere close to where you are, or you just want to play. Your friends are like, "Oh, we'd love to come see you play, but you're playing out in blah, blah, blah."
Right.
So it makes sense. It's great.
Yeah.
And the festival went off without a hitch, and
we
was
had a great
beautiful.
time. Had a great time.
And we are honored to be a part of it.
Yeah. And so normally we're breaking the mold a little bit with this episode because normally we have this conversation. You talk about a specific song, and then you do an in-studio performance over there, and we capture that. But instead, we actually captured your performance last night. And so we're going to kind of blend those two things together, and that's going to be the live performance section of this, which has come from last night's show. So do you want to talk about the song that you want to present from that?
Sure, yeah. So the song you'll be seeing on this and/or hearing on this podcast is "Don't Play Dead" from our newest record, Self Care, which came out in 2023. It was the first single from that record, and all three of us played on it, the recording and on the live performance as well.
And there's a music video.
That's right. That you're not in.
But he's nice to bring it up.
Yeah, it's nice to bring it up, yeah. Yeah, it was a video of dancing about doom scrolling. We got this cool guy, Wes, over here with sunglasses on in it.
Yeah. That's true. I thought they looked fun.
They did, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's all that matters, right? The cool sunglasses.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
When you watch that video, that's what,
Wes's future's so bright.
That's what the people talk about.
gotta wear shades.
So you guys all played on it, and did you record it at CJ's place?
It's kind of always a bunch of things. We recorded at his buddy's place, Amber Sound, right? That's how you say it?
Yeah, we did the basic tracking in Amber Sound in Nashville.
Yeah, we got the drums and the bass and the percussion over a long weekend. And then I kept coming back to Nashville in between CJ's house and another friend's studio. I think it was it. We did all the guitars. And then the horns were done in Louisiana. We sent it off to a friend. And the cello was down out there. There were a couple bass parts that were done at another friend's house. And the vocals were done in Atlanta with Matt Goldman.
Oh, cool. Yeah, right on. Do you guys want to talk about any of that recording process, or?
It was a blast. Because we recorded Self Care during the whole 2020 terrible year, and we weren't doing much. Nothing was happening, and
It was an appropriate title for that time.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, it was great, because I hadn't seen hardly anyone, in person, and it was just great to be able to spend a long weekend with my friends and playing, recording in a nice studio and hanging out and actually seeing other humans. It was nice because it was later, it was later in 2020. It wasn't early in that whole thing. Because we had production meetings, online.
Yeah, so
So professional.
I sent them demos for them each to kind of make notes and decide what song. And then we met together in Zoom and picked out the songs we wanted to record. And then over the next several months, I would make recordings of it to clicks and stuff, and they would say, do it faster, do it slower, can you change the key up or down, those kind of things, or let's add this, let's take that out, and kind of defined it. And then I had a scratch track, and then each of them worked on their own parts at home. Someone would send in stuff to me and go, what do you think about this? And we kind of honed out some stuff. But then we came into the studio, we just we got together and jammed through the songs 2 or 3 times until we felt all right, we're ready. And then just went for it.
Yeah, because the online part of it was important because it's an interesting experience doing a band where every member lives in a different state. You know what I
done
mean?
that. Yeah,
That's
it's,
interesting. I've not done that before. So it was it was neat.
Yeah, it's a very different experience.
Yeah.
You're not in the room at all. You just send people.
Not till we were actually in the studio, recording it in the room together for the first time. Which is now that we're not going to get too much into it, I guess. But the new EP, we didn't even do that. We just recorded that all our own.
Yeah, we just recorded an EP that's coming out in November, and we did it all. Like I did my parts to Andrew, the drummer. He did all his parts in Louisiana. Then he went to Wes, and he recorded all his bass and background vocals in North Carolina. Then to CJ in Tennessee, and he did all his guitars. And then back to me, and I had a couple extra vocals. And then Matt Tuttle in North Carolina mixed and mastered it. And we never saw each other once during the whole process.
We can talk about Don't Play Dead, though, because the whole album was great because I feel like we had did so much front-end work. We had a lot of direction. Everybody knew what they wanted to play.
Yep.
And so we tracked the bass and drums live together, and that was great. And then when we started doing guitar, that's when we kind of trying to noodle around with the solo. And that's Matt and I at the same time were like, what would be cool in the song would be some horns.
Yeah.
And that's where the horn parts kind of came into play. And we kind of outsourced that. And Matt
Are those actual horns or are they
Yeah.
sick?
Yeah, Ben Harrington and New Orleans got together a little horn section. I told him what instruments I wanted. He wrote the part and sent to me. I sang on the phone on something like this,
It's perfect.
that was just cool because it was
Unless you
like,
can do it now.
that one just kind of developed in all the right ways,
It really did. And even like when it got into mixing, we got to mix with one of my heroes, Aaron Sprinkle, and when I'm in the room with him doing it, I'm like, can we turn this backwards and can we cut it here? Because there were like stuff like that like kind of hard to, explain sometimes, through text or whatever.
Sure.
And he'd be like this, and then he'd be like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Yeah, that's the right thing to do, kind of thing. Lots of cool stuff. Like the beginning of the song, there's a drum thing that kind of sounds real crappy in the background, and we had made CJ and I made like a drum like an edit or whatever, and it didn't work, and it just happened that we got this one mic that was in the very top corner of the live room where we recorded the drums that got the drums and kind of made it real kind of crappy, and so he took that and then kind of looped it and put some effect on it, and then that ended up being that part, and like stuff like that where everybody's part like really just kind of worked together so perfectly.
Very cool.
And everyone was he was great because he was very complimentary about what we had and
Yeah.
was able to kind of put his little touch on a few things. And yeah.
That's one of the songs that, like, and this, as a songwriter, I think that I always want, I have an idea in my head, and sometimes I see it through and it comes to fruition in the way that I want. And other times I'm still today going, I really wanted it to sound like this, or I don't know how I didn't get it to where I want, whatever.
Right. Or like,
but this,
I don't know how to do what's in my head.
Yeah,
is where I
sometimes,
sit
yeah,
all
sure.
the time.
But that particular song was one of those songs that when I heard the final master, I'm listening and I cried, and I was like, that's it. Like, it was one of those few moments where I'm like, that's exactly what this song needs to be, because it had everything. My niece got to sing the bop bas, the background vocals in there, and I love that she was able to come and be a part of that, and
It's beautiful.
yeah.
She was nervous.
Oh, way nervous. She probably listen to this and be like, stop. Don't embarrass me.
In another project I did, the internet project I did a couple years back, I had my kids sing on this like gang vocal part.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
It was my two kids and my wife and I all sitting on that couch you're sitting on, just with a couple of microphones in front, and like wailing on those little parts, and it was cool. We had some other friends' kids join it, and it's like you don't hear any of them distinctly because it's a big crowd vibe, but just knowing that like our kids are on that, it's cool.
Yeah. I think the thing that, and this goes back to how you started the podcast today, but for me, the thing that I love about music is that I've been able to make friendships, and I've been able to prolong and strengthen friendships as well. And like these guys, I lived close to each of them at some point, but haven't lived close to either of them in a long time. And the only reason that we're able to, not only, but main reason we're able to like stay in touch and be a part of each other's life is music. And I love it because not only do I like, playing with them. They're incredible musicians, but they're also incredible people that I get to make new memories with. I enjoyed playing on stage last night and seeing them, and then of course also seeing you out in the crowd and stuff like that. But I also really enjoyed, we go back to the room, we're eating crap food and watching SNL and laughing our asses off. And that's the kind of stuff that I really love that
Did you
music's
get that-
brought to my
Did
life.
you get that cookout?
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't actually crap food. It was really good food. It was from cookout.
I meant on a
It's
I know what you
North
mean. You mean it wasn't
Carolina-
healthy for me.
Yeah.
North Carolina gourmet.
But it fed my soul.
yeah.
was
You got a
important.
point. Yeah,
It was
it's all about
important.
balance.
It was important.
Yeah.
The song itself is a song that's really really deep into self care, because I myself, actually I think all three of us do deal. Tell me if I'm wrong. Deal with anxiety and depression at times, and that song in particular was written. My wife deals a lot with crippling anxiety and depression, and sometimes, especially when she was in grad school, she would get stuck and like be on the couch and couldn't do anything, and I wrote the song as a love letter to her, and just being like, I'm here for you, and it doesn't matter. I also mess up, that whole kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know. As I'm getting older, I realize so much more of that. Like anytime that I look back at my past, I'm like, I wonder should I have done this or should I have done that. If I could have given myself any advice as a kid, I would have told myself, none of this matters. Just do what you want to do. Be you.
Right.
Be authentic, and you'll be okay.
And it takes sometimes 40 years to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, 2021 was the year for me. I quit a job, and then I decided I'm going to go to all the doctors and do, physically try to figure out what's wrong with me and fix those things, as well as mentally. And I got a therapist too. And then since then, I've been on a journey to be the healthiest me on the inside and the outside I can be, and be the best friend, partner, son I can be.
But you're doing a terrible job.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was sweet.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really great that you recognize that space, and then also you use that to write some really great songs. Because for me, I write really sad songs, but I'm pretty fucking happy right now,
Yeah.
and it's hard to do that. So it's cool that you've found a way to channel that and putting out stellar tunes at the same time.
I think that writing music is really just about channeling and sharing who you are. I'm sure you dealt with this too, but I always deal with the problem where people are like, why are you still doing this? 25 years, why are you still doing this?
I wrote a song about that.
Yeah. And it's so did Kick Snare Crash. What's the point? And like
Mine's called Everyone's a Liar.
yeah,
But
it's true.
yeah, it was my daughter, who's 11 now, was about to be born, and I was working on my first full-length record.
Mhm.
And someone very close to me was like, "You're about to have a kid. What are you doing?" The fuck do you mean? What am I doing? I'm doing this thing. But yeah,
Yeah, and what I realize is that, I mean, like, that you create. That's what you do, and you probably will always create. I think every one of these us will always continue to create in some form, and I think that the why you do things is really just because it's the same reason that our ancestors put their hand on a wall and blew paint on it. It's the same reason I can go to a mountaintop and yell. I just want to say I exist. I want to share my experience. And in the Kiss documentary, the Behind the Music, they they talked about how nobody liked them and that they weren't getting record deals. And they're like, well, if we like this and 4 of us like this, there has to be more people out there like us. And then they ended up, becoming millionaires. So I think that that's the way it is. If you believe enough in yourself, I think somebody else will also believe in you too.
that's fair. You also got to have the right costumes.
Yeah. Wes, did you think I was going to pull out Kiss in this?
No, I didn't. Who is that?
The Kiss
No.
Army, man.
What?
Knights in Service to Satan or something like that? Satan's
I don't
Service?
know. We all heard that stuff in middle school.
It's really funny listening to Kiss's music now, and like they're supposed to be this like badass devil band. It's so wholesome,
Yeah, one of them has a star
Love
painted
guns.
on his face.
right? Well, I mean, not necessarily that, but like you know what I mean. It's like real. It's
Yeah,
rock
I
and
know.
roll, but it's like poppy rock and roll.
Yeah.
It feels good. They do just want to party.
All night and part of every day.
Part of every day.
Detroit Rock City. You know that one?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was good naming songs. Oh man.
Don't Play Dead is probably my favorite song on the record. See what I did? I brought it back.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it's good,
CJ
it's
did it
good.
a minute ago, and I wanted to be like him. It's
He's
probably
just
my,
gonna edit the good parts
but
together.
it is probably my favorite song on the record. Yeah.
If we had to play if we had to cover a Kiss song, what would we play?
I don't know. I'd have to go look at their.
Yeah, Detroit Rock City. I just said it.
Yeah.
Obvious answer.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite songs on the album, and I love playing it live. I love the call and response, getting the crowd involved to sing to.
That was fun.
Some nights they're better than others.
How was last night?
It was actually not bad. Yeah,
Cool.
not bad at all.
Had a good time.
Yeah, no, it was a great show. I mean, we played well. Sound was good. And
Cool venue.
I got a video that I guess you'll have, and you'll be seeing that. I mean, we look cool.
Yeah, you do indeed.
You made me look cool.
You made yourself look cool with that green tape.
Oh, so I do. By the way, I did try to adjust my acoustic guitar. The way that I hold it and the way that I move, I end up like rubbing my arm on it, and I've got a mark from. So before we played, I tried to put tape on it so it wouldn't do that, but the tape lasted a song because
Yep.
my body was too wet or whatever. So, CJ's face.
I was thinking about it last night because I was like, I used to be in, well, and I guess kind of again, maybe possibly, I'm in this punk band called Brentwood, and we used to wear these, are like sweatbands, you know?
Yeah, that's what
And
I
like
mean.
our bass player would wear like one pulled really high up and like ostensibly for that reason,
Yeah, yeah.
mostly just to look cool, but ostensibly to keep it from rubbing.
Yeah, where would,
I still imagine Josh wearing those.
I'm just
all the
hoping, I
time.
hope he does. I
Right
hope he is
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he is right now.
where would one go get a sweatband?
I looked before I went to the first Furnace Fest. I was like, dude, I'm gonna bring it way back. And I looked for like some of those sweatbands, and I found some on Amazon, but I
Yeah.
didn't end up buying them.
Comment below if you want us to get Pacifico sweatbands.
I thought about getting some of those little jelly bracelets and wearing them with an X, but I didn't do it.
Nice.
No, that's good.
But I thought about it.
Yeah. Great. I'm really glad you guys are here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Do you want to say anything else before we cut?
Well, you guys got anything you're working on you want to? Otherwise, I'll just do my thing.
I mean, I've got stuff I'm working on, but it's like not there
Do
yet.
you want to tell them your social media, or you want to keep that private?
Well, I don't have any social media for the project yet
Okay,
because I'm
cool.
waiting till it gets
It's
more
good.
developed. I'm working on
So
some
f-
synthwave stuff.
Yeah, you can always follow us, and you'll find these guys. Yeah, Pacifico, we got an EP that we just finished. It's mastered now. It's going to come out in November. We're going to have a video and a single and an EP. And then the label, Pacific Records, is doing great. And and that's how we work together with Caffeinated Mammal on the Songs from Indoors. If you haven't heard that, check that out. And then, but
Wes
we
has a song on that.
I did.
yeah, Wes does have a song on that.
It's a Brentwood song. Bringing
There
it
you
around
go.
to that a minute ago that I recycled.
And we have an album coming out in October called A Sequence of Echoes is the band. It's incredible. It's like chamber pop rock. And then our EP. And then we have a surprise thing going to go up for sale that'll come out next year. And then Kicksnare Crash has a new album coming out next year. So we got lots of things coming up. So
Very cool.
Pacifico Rock is how you found the band on social media. And then Pacific Records is the label. And I think that's it. I have a podcast called Moon Traveling. Pretty sweet.
Oh, I do a podcast too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sweet. We should be on a podcast together.
we should. We
Yeah.
should. Yeah. Today?
Oh, I'm busy.
Oh.
I'm doing a thing.
Fair enough. Here's Pacifico performing their song Don't Play Dead.
Let's do it.
Did you miss the mark? Hold for perspective. Here's a brand new start. Room for reflection. Dwell on things. You can let them go. Listen to your heart and get yourself out of that head. It's okay. None of this matters anyway. We seems too large. Your strength outweighs my backbone. Just take a bite, stand up, dust off, and march. On and on and on, it's okay. None of this matters anyway. We all make mistakes. Hell, I made more than 3 today. So darling, don't go back, don't play dead. When things get hard, listen what I said. This is all okay. None of this matters anyway. Ba ba ba. 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 Well, it's all okay. None of this matters anyway. We all make mistakes. Hell, I made more than 3 today. So darling, don't go back, don't play dead. When things get hard, listen what I said, because it's all okay. None of this matters anyway. Well, it's all okay. And none of this matters anyway. Ba ba ba. 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 Ba ba ba.
Start spreading the news.
Ba 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 ba.
That was not great.
I'm leaving today.
Ba-da, ba-da, ba.
I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York.
Get my blue Gatorade and my Crulla. It's the best part of my day, dude.